So wagwan people, welcome and welcome back to our tuning viewers. On a big up on yourself. The heartless killing of Tamara Geddes took place almost 3 years ago, people. Almost 3 years ago, however, the man recently got his sentence. So the sister paid 230,000 to find a gunman to kill her sister, right? And 500k to kill another female. So no could they say, why the lady is so heartless and where the hell she get so much money from for kill people? Well, the man who she paid to find the gunman, he spoke out about how the lady farted up the monies as he was losing his appeal in court. He goes by the name of Owen Irving, the man who paid 230,000 to hire a triggerman to kill Tamara Geddes in Retreat, Trelawney, almost 3 years ago on the behalf of her sister, has lost his bid to have his 20-year prison sentence for murder quashed for the second time. The convict was adamant that his sentence for the murder is manifestly excessive, but the Court of Appeal dismissed the suggestion, affirming the sentence in a recent published judgment. So I believe I said Geddes and not Geddes, so I apologize for my mistake. Geddes, a 36-year-old, was shot dead in her Retreat, Falmouth home by a gunman on Friday, June 19 of 2020. On March 1, 2021, her sister, Nadine Geddes, was sentenced to 20 years in prison after she pleaded guilty to murder, though she did not actually pull the trigger, but planned the murder of her own sibling, with whom she had several disputes over time. Nadine's daughter, Shanice Ruddock, a then 15-year-old girl, received 3-year probationary sentences for misprision of felony relative to failing to report the murder despite having knowledge of it. Nadine paid 230,000 to Irving to facilitate the killing of Tamara, the Court of Appeal said after the hearing of the fresh appeal brought by Irving this year. In relation to Irving's conviction for murder and conspiracy to murder, he, along with his spouse, Tashana Young, also received 500,000 from Nadine to murder Tanisha Miller, who was the girlfriend of Nadine's deceased brother. Miller had allegedly stabbed Nadine's brother to death. Irving pleaded guilty to Tamara's murder in the Trelawney Circuit Court on March 3, 2021, and was sentenced to 20 years in prison with a stipulation that he should serve 15 years before he was eligible for parole. Irvine was sentenced to 5 years in prison for the conspiracy to murder charge along with his then female lover. Dissatisfied with his sentences, Irvine went before a single Court of Appeal judge to have his application for leave to appeal his sentences heard, but it was refused on May 12 of 2020. He then brought his application before 3 appeal court judges in February and March of this year, and through his attorneys, Leonard Green and Alex Sparks, argued that the sentences imposed are harsh and manifestly excessive and cannot be justified. But the appellate judge, Justice Marva McDonald Bishop, Justice Jennifer Straw, and Justice David Fraser said they do not accept that these sentences are manifestly excessive. In their decisions, the judges wrote, in fact, the applicant Irving could have been indicted for murder failing within Section 21E of the OAPA, which is the Offenses Against the Persons Act, circumstances of a contract killing, and would have been liable to be sentenced pursuant to Section 31A of the OAPA, which provides for a potential penalty of death or life imprisonment with a stipulated statutory minimum term of 20 years imprisonment before eligible for parole. In pointing to the disturbing nature of the killing, the judges reminded that in a caution statement, Irving admitted to receiving 230,000 from Nadine to Tamara's sister. The money was paid to a third individual, the triggerman, who had agreed to carry out the killing for a sum of 500,000, the judge stated. The triggerman, who was also arrested, gave a caution statement in which he admitted the applicant Irving That alleged triggerman, Brian Shelley, is still before the court and is to be tried, but his legal representation remains unsettled. The appeal court judge also took note that Irvin and his then spouse received $500,000 from Nadine to kill her deceased brother's girlfriend. The judges determined that the sentencing judge considered and took into account the classical principle of sentencing relative to both the murder and the conspiracy to murder count, including Irvin's early guilty plea, aggravating and mitigating factors, and the time spent in pre-sentences remand. It is noted, however, that the sentences judge may not have demonstrated his application of principle of sentencing in the orderly manner as set out in the case for Misha Clement VR and Daniel Ralston VR, but his attempt at applying the prescribed methodology was evident from a review of the transcript. In the final analysis, the judges were of the view that this court will only interfere with the sentences if they were excessive or inadequate to such an extent as to satisfy this court that when they are passed, there was a failure to apply the right principle. One of the accused, Rexon Knott, was freed in February 2021 due to insufficient evidence to mount a viable case against him in court. The Falmouth police reported that on June 19, 2020, at about 8:30, Tamara was in her room with her daughter when a gunman entered the house, demanded money, and then shot the mother several times. The daughter escaped unhurt. The police were alerted and Tamara was taken to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. On July 14, 2020, Nadine Geddes, along with both her daughters and Owen Irvin, were arrested and charged in connection with Tamara's murder. The other accused were subsequently arrested and charged by the investigators. People, this is one hell of a story. This is one hell of a story, and if me never believe it, I wouldn't know if me never read it, I wouldn't know if I believe. Almighty God, people can wicked so. Your own sister, and look how much person she pay for kill. Where the hell is she getting that money? And bet say if one of her family did want it to borrow, she would have it. But she have it to kill people. Jah know people, but do not tell me what you think in the comment section.